my most recent visit to Barcelona, it was immediately obvious something big was going on. Streets were blocked off. La Merce, the city's biggest annual festival, was underway. We jumped right in. A parade was passing near our hotel. It featured giants with big heads, Jacobsen grossos. The chef, a little devil. The holiday of La Merce is 5 days long. The festival is held in honor of Our Lady of Mercy, one of the patron saints of Barcelona.
Els gegants de la ciutat i l'àliga es posicionen per rebre tots els gegants barcelonins que tancaran aquesta cavalcada de la Mercè entrant a dins de l'Ajuntament.
You gotta love this sweet-looking couple.
Darrere els gegants del Poble Sec, també des del districte de Sants Montjuïc, els gegants de la Marina, en Magí, la Quimeta i en Paco Candel.
Scary monster. Big turtle. The constable. During the holiday of La Merce, there's over 500 separate events taking place throughout the city. There's street theater, musical events, dancing, and parades. Jacobsen grossos. Next day, we were walking around and heard music. It was coming from a band shell set up in the main plaza in the front of the Barcelona Cathedral. Built in Gothic style in the 14th century, it's called the Cathedral of the Holy Cross and Santa Eulalia. Eulalia was a local 13-year-old Christian girl martyred there by the Romans in 304 AD. Her remains are supposedly there in the cathedral. The elaborate facade of the building was constructed in the 19th century and is a more intense finish than the 14th century Gothic original. Gothic features can still be seen on the sides of the church. It's beautiful inside. It has a cool organ. Who lies beneath the skull and crossbones? No one knows. This is the sardana, a local Catalonian style of dance. These are Castellers, or human towers, another special Catalonian tradition. Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia, and the Catalonians, along with the Basques, were the first people in Spain to modernize, industrialize, and embrace education. They're both fiercely independent, and each has their own unique culture and history. In point of fact, a substantial percentage of the population in both regions prefer to speak their own languages and don't even like to be considered Spanish. I borrowed the footage. We wanted to go see some live flamenco, but the guy at the hotel gave me this brochure and warned us that the small clubs across town were far too dangerous. So we took his advice and went to the show at the Palace of Catalan Music. The place itself was spectacular. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But we found the show boring, so we split. The city's well known for seafood, and we got a recommendation for a fabulous place called Botafumeiro. Everything about it was great. There was a warm and cozy semi-nautical vibe. Fresh crabs, shellfish, fish, langoustines, best of all, barnacles. I've only had them before in Spain and Portugal. They're terrific. Paella, a Catalan specialty. There was music. You could eat at the counter. We went back 3 times. The Casa Batlló. When Gaudí got his degree from the Barcelona School of Architecture in 1878, the director wondered aloud if the degree had been conferred on a genius or a fool. He said, "Time will tell." The casa is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. As is the Casa Milà. I took this picture in northern Spain some years ago. Called El Capricho, it was one of Gaudí's first commissions. But Gaudí's most glorious architectural vision was the Basilica of the Sagrada Familia. It was begun in 1882, but over the years, construction on the project has been intermittent. Building was dependent on donations, and sufficient funds were not forthcoming. But as Gaudí's fame has grown, so have the donations and the number of visitors to the Sagrada. Work has resumed with a vengeance, with a target date set for completion in 2026. The finished Sagrada will have 3 facades and 18 towers. This is the Nativity facade, designed and built during Gaudí's lifetime. The portico has 3 entries devoted to the 3 Christian virtues of faith, hope, and charity, with fantastic representations of the life of Jesus. Gaudí drew inspiration from nature, and his work exudes an undulating and organic architectural vision, which is on obvious display in this facade. The Passion facade represents the passion and death of Jesus. The third facade hasn't been completed as yet. The interior of the basilica is a wonder to behold. It's unique, otherworldly, and fantastical. When he was young, Gaudí was a social and successful architect, but in his later years he became reclusive, devoting himself solely to the design and construction of his beloved Sagrada. When he was hit and killed by a streetcar in 1926, he was 74 years old. Because of his appearance, he was mistaken for a beggar. Today, Gaudi's work is the most easily recognizable architecture in the world. Near the end of his life, he was asked if he felt frustration at the slow pace of construction of his church. Gaudi replied, "My client has a lot of patience." The Corafolk, or fire runs, are the highlight of La Merce. We had seen the signs spelling out the do's and don'ts all over town. On the afternoon of the big day, we heard drums up the street. And the first of the drum troops appeared. Like so many events during the festival, local barrios send their own representatives. They'll play long into the night. As the evening approaches, the pyrotechnic aspect of the Corafolk begins. The kids get the first chance. Dressed as little devils, they run up and down the streets with their pitchforks spitting fire. This part of the festival harkens back to medieval times, when street theater featured morality plays, pitting good against evil. Devils acted out the part of the bad guys, and in the end, evil was more fun. Now, for one day, the devils are summoned up from hell. Hoodies and long sleeves are recommended. The sparks hurt. Lala braved the fiery onslaught. Then the big guys really got going. Each group of devils spawn their own bestiaries, monsters from hell. The beat goes on. Stoked up on a mixture of red wine and Coca-Cola, called Tercet Quilamucho, macho hombres hunkered down under the shower of cascading sparks. was almost midnight. Pretty soon, the devils would be called back to hell. I was totally loaded, but I'd had a great time. Correfoc at La Merce in Barcelona. If you ever get the chance, go do it.